Hello, it's the 31st of August and today I want to prune the summer raspberries. I only planted these later on last year, so I'm pleased that we got quite a good crop from them this summer, because summer raspberries as opposed to autumn fruiting raspberries produce their fruit on the stems that grew on the previous year. So there are two varieties of stems in here at the moment. There are the fresh new ones ready to produce raspberries next year, and there are ones on which the raspberries grew last year. And all I'm going to do in terms of pruning them is simply take out, this is one of last year's and it's tied to the wire there. What I'm simply going to do is cut off at the base the stems that fruited. Last year's stems are quite distinctive. They're obviously dying back, although because I didn't cut them back immediately there's a bit of new growth showing on these, but you can see where the leaves have died away, and you can see in places where the fruit that didn't get harvested has just rotted away and dried up on the branches. Okay, well the next job is to take out all of those. I'm cutting them off about an inch or so above the ground, and I'm also looking at the new growth, because ideally they don't want to be too crowded, and this is a good opportunity to thin them out. I mean, it's not always easy because they don't come up at ideal spacings, but I'll be trying to aim for a new cane every 6 inches or so. Okay, well that's the raspberries thinned out to take out all the ones that fruited this previous summer, and also to thin them out a bit so there's by and large a sort of at least say 6 inches between them. Don't be greedy about that, because if you've got two very close to each other they'll be competing for nutrients and you'll get a worse yield than if you took one of them out and let the other one get on with it. Now the next thing to do with summer raspberries is to tie them to something, because they won't support themselves, and I've got wires in this frame that I will now tie the raspberries to. There may be some others that come up between now and next season, but we can look at those as they come up. I'm just saying just tie them in, and I notice sometimes with gardening videos people say things without explaining them because they think it's all too obvious. So I just spend a moment, and apologies if you already know this, to explain how you tie something in. First of all, I've cut a bit of string which is longer than I think I need. Nothing more irritating than tying anything up and finding you've only got a tiny bit of string to deal with. Then I'm just going to tie the string to the wire, just put a double reef knot in it, leaving me two bits that are firmly connected. Obviously this can be done on vertical canes as well, and then tying the cane in is really just a matter of giving it a lot of space. It's quite a large loop there, plenty of just to hold it up. You know, it's not holding it tight against anything, and for things that are likely to grow, this isn't going to grow a whole lot, it means that it's not going to be forcing itself up against the string, and that's all there is to it, but it makes a nice connection, nice secure connection for it. Okay, well that's them all pruned and tied back. Another reason for tying them back is that it gets quite windy up here in winter, and this lot can act a bit like a sail, so it's good to make sure they're going to be secure until the spring. That one's trying to escape through the roof of the cage. I don't really want that, so I'm going to cut that down to a sensible height, partially for harvesting, but if you cut the tops off, you may get more branching below, so it's not a question of making more raspberries. They'll probably come anyway. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to feed them this time of the year. We don't really want used shoots coming up in winter. In the springtime I'll put some bone, blood and fish fertiliser, and then fertilise them during the season as and when. Actually they're rather like strawberries. Tomato fertiliser goes well with them. Anyway, one final thing actually I am going to do, and that's simply because it's been just very dry, so I'm just going to water them because they're plants and they're dry. But I hope you've found something useful or interesting in this video, and as ever, thank you very much for watching.